My boys won't hesitate to run up on your boy. 엉덩이 빵빵빵 남자들은 탐탐탐 내 입술 냠냠냠 어디 가도 탕탕탕 등장은 짠짠짠 뛰자 팡팡팡 disco 팡팡팡 hello.
Personality is meaning the total of individual reaction and interaction with others. It may be described as a person in a psychological trait that both determine and reflect how he reacts to his surroundings. With personality, we will be able to investigate how personality may match with any sort of employment, how personality affect employee turnover and happiness, and finally, the occupational environment with every personality of the employee at work. Meanwhile, personality trait is defined as a quality or feature that define the character, action, and attitude of a person, animal, or geographical region. So, in personality trait, there are several types of theory, which is first is Chinese zodiac, next is the Myers-Briggs type indicator (MBTI), then the Big Five model personality, also major personality attribute influencing orbit, and lastly person job fit theory. But our group will be focused more on the Big Five model of personality. So, the five-factor model of personality, often known as a model of the primary dimension of personality different among individuals. The five-factor model divides personality into 5 parts, which is the agreeableness, conscientiousness, extraversion, openness, and also neuroticism. Our group will choose neuroticism, which is one of model of personality, which means emotional stability, to assume that the factor will affect the productivity. A person with a high level of neuroticism, on the other hand, is prone to expressing unpleasant emotion quickly. Meanwhile, those with a good emotional stability, low neuroticism, react less emotionally and are less often upset. They are emotionally stable, calm, and do not have negative feeling at all. So, for the example, I will give one example of situation which is about neuroticism. Hamiza is a new employee at Tesla. They appear to be doing very well in their first week of work, and Hamiza never complained about their work. However, after a few months, Hamiza appeared to be very stressed because Hamiza's workload is increasing day by day. However, other employee has never seen Hamiza become engaged with another employee simply because she is stressed about their work. She always smiling to other employees while talking and provide excellent impression and feedback during meeting. And other employees are aware that Hamiza is one of the employees who truly understand how to manage their emotion in the workplace. Hamiza understand that if she enable to control her emotion at work, that will affect the productivity on the organization. For example, what if Hamiza become irritated with another employee while at work as a result of stress? And of course, both of them will fight and do their work with an anger emotion, and both of them will enable to do work properly because their mind are distracted by other things that are unrelated of their work. So, because of that, that will affect the organization.
Okay, now is the values. As a manager in the local company, the interaction towards the employee-related circumstances such as job, good absenteeism, employment turnover, and productivity, human performance, and the management that may be used to promote employee well-being are the values. And according to the Rakesh Value Survey, the instrumental values are the most compatible with the manager's values. A values is commonly held belief with how something ranks in terms of desirability, worth, or goodness. It has been interrupted at times to meet such standards by which the ends of action and selected the understanding. At the times to imply such norms by which objective of action. Managers in the organization are searching for individuals who not only have but also for people who has the value system in positive and consistent with the goals of the organization. Next is the value system. The value system is the hierarchy based on the ranking of what the individuals values the most in their life, based on their distancy of the desirability. The first is region, second family, third education, fourth profession, and the fifth for the society. I will talk about the types of value by Rockish Value Survey. In the Rockish Value Survey has two types, which is the terminal values and the instrumental values. The terminal values are desirable to ending the state of textiles in a set of goals of ambitions that a person wants to achieve in his or her life. For an example, Ahmad, who has the terminal value, will want to achieve and have the exceptional which is has happy life on his lifetime. Then the instrumental values are the better method of behavior. It is the means or technique of achieving one's main goal. For an example, Aminah, who has the ambitious goal and wants to achieve the goals of ambitions, that she will keep hardworking to achieve the main goals. Then the dominant work values in today's workforce. The work values are identified using the phrase appropriate job features, which is a focus on analyzing the respondent behaviors for the specific work elements. And from the picture above, we know the manager in the local company is the most of the employees will came from the cohort search or LECTURER'S. We can see from the perspective that the dominant work values are important because it will affect the productivity of the company. Then the boomer people from the cohort will have the use learning the career, but they will in the career. Then the cohort of sales and the nurses are suitable because they have their work-life balance and they will make their job and life balance. They also can be a team management, which is team-oriented with others.
Hosted Framework for Assessing Cultures. Good Hosted conduct a study of over 119,000 IBM workers in 40 countries in late 1970. Hosted identified 5 categories that define cultures. The first one is Power Distance Index. The second one is Collectivism versus Individualism. The third one is Uncertainty Avoidable Index. The fourth one is Femininity versus Masculinity. And the last one is Short-term versus Long-term Orientations. So, from 5 of them, our group chose power distance that can be related to the situations as we are the manager and need to highlight about employees' value by Hosted Frameworks. Okay, let's go through the power distance. What is power distance? Power distance is the degree to which inequality and power are permitted in this level. Inequality and power are perceived through the eyes of the organizations and the institutions. Power distance have two types, which is high power distance and low power distance. High power distance is a culture with a high power distance index, support inequalities and power disparities, and has a strong regard for a rank and authority. While low power distance implies that a culture promotes flat organizational structure with decentralized decision-making responsibilities, a participatory management style, and a focus on power sharing. For an example, in some company, the comparing income inequality is an example of power distance. The power distance of income disparity is low in certain regions. This indicates that there is a little disparity between the richest and the poorest members of society. It will make power distance may be utilized to assess workplace in psychology. A manager who may earn 500 times more per hour than the typical employee create a large power gap in the organizations.
Perception. According to Robbins and Judge, 2007, perception is a process by which individuals organize and interpret their sensory impressions in order to give meaning to the environment. Meanwhile, according to Joseph Rees, perception includes all the processes by which an individual receives information about this environment. It includes seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, and smelling. So, in simple words, we can say perception is the act of seeing what is there to be seen. What did you see on these two pictures? Errors and biases in attributions. There are totally 7 of them, but I will conclude our summary only 3 of them. So the first one is self-serving bias. It is a person taking credit or positive events or outcomes, but blaming outside factors for negative events. Here is how our mind works. When you achieve success, you pat yourself on the back of all the good works. When things go wrong, you place the blame on the outside or on the people or external factors. To make that worse, you usually believe that the failures were out of your control. Second, selective perception. Selective perception is the process by which we select, categorize, and analyze stimuli from our environment to create meaningful experiences, while blocking out stimuli that contradicts our beliefs or experiences. People selectively interpret what they see on the basis of interest, background, experience, and attitudes. And the last one is halo effect. Halo effect is drawing a general impressions about an individual on the basis of a single characteristic only. We misjudge people by concentrating on one behavior or trait. It has a deep impact and always gives inaccurate result or most of the time. For example, we always have an impression of a lazy person can never be punctual in any occasions. Am I right? So, how does errors and bias in attributions affect the employee-related situation? Okay, let me tell you by give example situations on behalf of self-serving bias. Okay, let's see. We have 2 people, Ali and Abu. Ali is an employee with self-serving bias, while Abu is a normal employee. The situation is Ali and Abu were asked to cooperate in completing the job given by their chief. Upon completing the job, they were scolded by the chief for not achieving the objectives. Ali blamed Abu for not following the course of action suggested by him and then let the offense be corrected by Abu alone. Then at the end, the chief praised the hardworking job and commitment towards the job. However, Ali claimed all the efforts by himself and not letting anyone praise Abu for the job done. So here it shows that Ali portrayed self-service bias behavior once he rejected the negative feedback and only see his strengths. He is willfully ignorant of any shortcomings of our failures. The inability to recognize failures somehow will automatically make his ability to perform consistently at the best in environment drop off. His work performance will bring down the company if he continues to behave so. The probability of return over is very high too. So, as a manager, how to overcome these errors? First, organize team building activity. By doing so, it will let the point-meeting workers getting stronger and let them feel the hardships and the pleasures in a group. Second, applying the behavior of give others credit during success. So, example, they can try to find 5 people or 5 reasons behind every victory. And the last one is, as a manager, we can train the workers to find an area of improvement for any bad outcomes. Every single worker must find at least one area to learn and improve themselves.
The last one is our references, and we are done.